Hey everybody, this is your boy NCS07 here, and welcome to another First Impressions video. This time on Psychonauts 2. Now, I know I was supposed to upload this video on Tuesday, but I got lazy. That's my excuse. So, I do apologize about that, but finally got it out now. But honestly, it was two things. One, laziness, and two, I wanted to spend more time with the game. So, at this point in time, I finished, I believe the first main level of the game. I don't know, it's the one where you go inside the Hollis's mind, I believe it is. I finished that stage, so yeah, I've basically gotten to that point of the game where I've gotten that part of the game finished. So, I'll talk about the game. Now, I don't know if I'm going to be doing necessarily a review of the game. I do have some ideas, but I thought I'd at least do this. Now, this isn't going to be a comprehensive review or anything, so yeah. But the first thing I should probably mention, and the first thing that you can probably definitely notice, are of course the visuals of the game, as this game is really, really good to look at. Honestly, going from Psychonauts, the original, with its very interesting model design and whatnot, it is really, really good looking in this game. And while it does kind of lose that creepy factor, it just looks better. I don't really know. It just looks a lot nicer. I mean, then again, of course it probably would, given that it's being made in the current millennium. But then again, it just looks really, really good. But I think one of the things that really makes the game much better looking than most other games of this type are, of course, its animations. I mean, honestly, this game is packed with so many of them. I'm surprised they just haven't made a Psychonauts movie. Seriously. I mean, honestly, at this point, they may as well just make a Psychonauts movie. Because, Jesus Christ, they animated, a lot in this game. This game basically plays like a movie. It really reminds me a lot of Luigi's Mansion 3 with that game's animations. It's really, really friggin' good. The only real thing I would say visually that I don't like as much is I feel like the resolution doesn't necessarily hit 1080p. Maybe it does and I don't notice it, but I don't know. I feel like the game could have been a little bit more sharp. I'm not entirely sure if the game actually runs at 1080p, but I don't know. I was playing it on PlayStation 5, so I'd kind of expect better. I don't know. It's not really that big of an issue, but I do kind of wish the game was a little bit more sharp. It kind of feels like the game's being played at 720p instead of 1080p, which I'm not really that big of a fan of, but I don't know. I don't know the technical lingo. I'm not sure. Even so, though, I do think the game could have looked at least a little more sharp, whereas the game does kind of have that blurry look, which is okay, but I would have preferred a more sharp look. But honestly, that's fine. And honestly, frame rate is completely perfect since you can play it at 60 FPS. So it's not really that big of an issue. It's just a slight little gripe I have. And the story is pretty good. I would say it's a lot more easy to understand this game's story as opposed to the original game's story, at least personally. Not really going to say much about the story, I will say, though. It is definitely interesting, to say the least. Not bad at all, but not really great either. It's good. But honestly, that's fine. But of course, the gameplay. Now, Psychonauts is basically just like a 3D platformer, but with puzzle aspects to it. In fact, I'd honestly call the game half a puzzle game, because that's kind of what part of the game is. And I haven't played the whole game again, so I don't know about the other levels, but to say the least, I think the game has been pretty good so far in terms of gameplay. I remember with the original Psychonauts, there were some really good stages. There were a lot of stages that I either didn't care for or didn't really like at all. Examples being the Waterloo World and the Meat Circus. Those two are stages that I really dislike. One of them being way too confusing puzzle-wise, and then another one being ridiculous platforming-wise. Now, I don't think any of the stages in the game are going to be like Meat Circus, but I don't know. I hope that none of the stages are too confusing when it comes to puzzle solving, because I'm not the best at puzzle solving. But then again, though, the game hasn't really been that bad yet, so it probably won't be too bad. I just hope they don't shove it down the throat too much, kind of like how God of War PS4 did, because I feel like that game really shoved them down your throat too much. But I don't I don't really know. It's not a big deal anyways. The gameplay is really good. You got more psychic abilities and whatnot, and the gameplay is just really, really good. Especially like the punching. I do really like how this game kind of feels less like a button masher like it did in the original Psychonauts, and feels kind of more like a beat 'em up sort of game. Like, you kind of need to be careful about when you're punching and stuff like that. You gotta watch and dodge for enemy attacks. I wouldn't say it's amazing at all, and it's not the best I've seen, but it is really, really good. So yeah, gameplay is really, really solid as well. And music is kind of just whatever. I don't really like the music that much. I don't know, there isn't really any music thus far that's really memorable, personally. But yeah. But honestly, that's really all I really have to say. I don't want to really say too much about the game because I might potentially do a video on it soon in the future. Not really going to say a lot on it, but something may happen soon. But overall, though, I have been enjoying Psychonauts 2. I will say it's definitely better than the first game, but at the same time, I don't necessarily know if it's really going to be like the best game ever. But I think it'll still be a really good game, especially given that we had to basically wait for the game for like 5+ years. So yeah, I'm pretty sure it's probably going to be really, really good. I mean, it has been thus far, so let's hope for the best. But anyways, that's it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I know this was kind of rambly all over the place, but still, I'm very interested in the game, and it's really, really good. Hope to finish it sometime soon, hopefully by the weekend's end. I can finish it, but I don't know. But anyways, this has been NCSO7, signing out. Peace.